Good afternoon, class. Today we're going to cover effective classroom discussions. This presentation is by Professor Curtis Livingston and Professor Renee Miller. So, to give you guys an introduction, I'm just going to go through a rundown of what we're going to cover today. We're going to go over what the experts say about this topic, different ideas that promote effective classroom discussions. These include question-answer sessions, group work, hands-on activities, class presentations. These can be single student or group presentations, and debates.
Classrooms are moving toward online and balanced learning format, which means that even a portion of face-to-face courses are now online. Instructors should familiarize themselves with the platform in order to relate to students and effectively facilitate discussions using all available tools. Testing the elements of the course prior to delivery serves the instructor by reducing potential areas of error that generate student frustration and complaints. This means planning ahead to help students navigate the curriculum and the classroom environment, and being prepared to revisit the class frequently since the discussions will be taking place around the clock. To ensure effective classroom communication, instructors should establish community by encouraging participation. Instructors should model the type and quality of communication they expect from students. Discussion should be focused on the curriculum, with some time left for unstructured discussion as well. In addition, instructors should set early deadlines for initial posts to allow time for the rest of the class to participate. Franklin University enacts all of these at the university level, and it is expected that instructors facilitate these points through training and practice. Facilitating effective classroom discussions might also mean dealing with difficult students. They come in many forms. The best way to deal with them is by communicating expectations early and often. This means planning ahead and knowing when to ask for guidance from a mentor.
Okay, so we're going to start going into different types of effective classroom discussions. The first one we're going to start with are question-answer sessions. So these are just not instructor-based. Students are participating as well. This promotes student-centered learning. It promotes students' curiosity and allows for broadening of knowledge. Students feel like they're also in control because the instructor is not just the one lecturing all the time. It breaks up the monotony of a regular lecture. It keeps students engaged. So students are allowed to, when I teach, and I know Professor Livingston can also jump in here and add, when we teach, we like questions, anytime during the lecture, feel free to stop us if you have a question. Hey, Professor Miller, Professor Livingston, I've got a question. Can we spend some time on this and go over this in a little bit more detail? So it just really breaks things up, allows for an open floor of discussion, and just a lot of student learning, promoting students' curiosity, furthering students' knowledge. The next one we're going to go into here is group work. Again, students are in control of their learning. All must participate in a group work setting. You can do larger groups, smaller groups. Basically, a group is 2 or more students working together on a certain project. It promotes different ideas and discussions in the classroom. When you've got different groups working on different topics, you're all learning from one another. It also goes into concept I found really, really fascinating for this topic, cooperative learning. Cooperative learning is characterized by positive interdependence, where students perceive that better performance by individuals produces better performance by the entire group. So this goes back to learning from one another. When one individual has an idea, maybe another individual hasn't thought of that idea. And when that student shares their idea with the rest of the class, then we all benefit from that discussion and learning from one another. So different ideas, again, promoting discussion in the classroom, breaking out the monotony of a lecture. Students are feeling like they're really part of their own learning process and that they too are in charge of their learning. Okay, this one's my favorite, hands-on activities. This is very student-centered. You are actively engaging students. A lot of activities with hands-on learning. For example, in criminal justice, we process a lot of mock crime scenes. I also give my students, different cases to analyze. We sit down, we talk about them. After we analyze them, it's a lot of hands-on learning. And there's a technical term for that called kinesthetic learning. There's normally 3 different types of learning: auditory, visual, and kinesthetic. And kinesthetic refers to our hands-on activities here. It's defined as it occurs as students engage in a physical activity, learning by doing, exploring, and discovering. So, very hands-on, actively engaging. Students are totally, completely, 100% in control of their learning here. Class presentations is the next one we'll go into here. This can be single student or group presentations. Again, students are in control of their learning. All must participate. This promotes different ideas and discussions in the classroom, and you're learning from one another. So when you're doing class presentations, I like to give my students the option to choose in criminal justice a certain topic that interests them, something they're really curious about and maybe have a passion for, or might want to explore later on in their career, or if they decide to go on for a master's degree, PhD, this could even set them up for a thesis or dissertation later on down the line. You never know. So I'm definitely a big fan of this one with presentations. You're really promoting student learning again, and with every student having their own presentation or every group having a different topic for a presentation, students are learning from one another. Okay, this is a pretty cool topic here, debates. Students are totally in control of the classroom here. All must participate. This is active engagement. You can do this in a lot of different ways. It promotes different ideas and discussions in the classroom. You can have like debate teams. You can have maybe 2 students, one discussing one topic, one refuting different ideas for that topic, or you could have debate teams. Entirely up to the instructor how they choose to set this up. One of our sources that I did a little bit of research with, Education World, states that debates also promote essential critical thinking, presentation skills, abstract thinking, citizenship and etiquette, clarity, organization, persuasion, public speaking, research, and teamwork and cooperation. I really like the points that this source brings up. It's just debates cover a little bit of everything. You're critically thinking, trying to refute arguments. It works on your presentation skills, public speaking skills, how you present ideas. Abstract thinking goes to thinking outside the box again. Citizenship and etiquette, being courteous to one another, respectful of one another and your ideas that you're presenting. Clarity, how well are you presenting those ideas? This also goes into organization. Are you easily flowing from one topic into the next? Persuasion is also part of this. Are you putting up a strong argument here? Research. Have you done your research? Do you know what you're talking about? Do you have that list of sources readily available to show where you're getting your information from? And teamwork and cooperation. Are you working well with one another? If you're on a debate team, are you getting along with your teammates? Do you all know what your role is during the debate, how you're presenting your ideas, what ideas you're going to present, and how are you cooperating with one another? So I definitely love all these points that Education World brings up. Okay, so in conclusion, just to kind of sum up, we went over what the experts say, some different ideas that promote effective classroom discussions, like your question answer sessions, group work, hands-on activities, class presentations. Again, that can be single student or group presentations and debates. All right, does anybody have any questions? Okay, and here is a list of our sources.